Good morning, crypto degens. How you doing this fine morning? I'm doing great. So the question I have today is, why do people usually not make money? Not only not make money, but why do most people lose money in crypto? It's a very simple answer to this question. So I'm on CryptoX today, and I see this post by Cup, and he says, this is my crypto timetable for 2026. So it's like January through March, bloodbath; April, market recovery; May, bull run starts; June, July, pause and play; August, bulls are out of control; September, October, bulls are getting tired; November, December, bears are outside; reset begins. So of course it's not going to happen like this person predicts it, but this is, like the pattern. This is the ups and downs of crypto. And people get into crypto when they see it moving up, and they're like, oh, like they just want to get rich quick. And when you buy some crypto at the right time and you see it moving up, you're like, it's just, you just think you're just going to get rich. It's not that way, because then it drops and you didn't sell it. So the main problem is that everyone is just, even if they don't intend to do it, they're trying to get rich quick. So I started instead of having patience. So I started in 2021, right? So in 2021, Bitcoin had dropped here. It was like in April or May, had a big, huge drop. And then I'm like, okay, I just heard about it from my friends. I had some friends who made huge money in Bitcoin and altcoins. And I was late to the party. I was just stupid and I was late. But in 2021, I got in when it dropped, because I was like, okay, it dropped here, so I'm going to get in now because it's probably going to rebound. But it didn't rebound. It kept dropping. But I was buying, right? So I was buying. And then it started going up, and it was going up, and it was going up. And here in 2021, it was the whole market, not just Bitcoin. So we're looking at Bitcoin because it's easier just to show Bitcoin. But so the whole altcoin market is going crazy. And so I'm up like 3.5x, right? And I had done some dumb things, so it's not like I was smart about it. But you didn't have to be smart. Everybody was up. And then what happened? I thought it was just going to keep going up for a while. Or I thought, the whole market was going to be adopted, and, it was just going to keep going up. So then it crashed, and I pretty much lost almost all my money. But I started buying again when it was cheap, right? I started buying when it was cheap, buying it cheap. End of 2023, beginning of 2024. And I wasn't buying a lot. I couldn't buy a lot. I was buying what I could, right? The end of 2024, the beginning of 2024, I was up much more than I was, because we had a little altcoin run, right? Beginning of 2024, where are we at here? So we had another altcoin run. It was a short one. It wasn't a big one like 2021. But I was up more than double I had been up in 2021, even though I had lost almost all my money. So I was like, wow. But then what happened? The market dropped again. It dropped again, and I didn't expect it. It just happened so fast, right? So my cash went way down, but dropped a whole lot. And what have I done? What have I done since then? Well, I've been buying. I bought a whole bunch at the current prices. So people get into crypto when it's going up. First of all, they're buying too late. They're buying too late because it's already gone up. And then they don't sell, right? They don't sell. And what happens? Well, it goes back down again. And then maybe they quit. But if you have patience, and if you buy only the good projects, because we've been in crypto long enough, crypto's been going on long enough now where we have some well-established projects. Aside from Bitcoin, we've got Bitcoin, but we've got several other coins, big coins that are at the top, that are getting adoption. They're getting tokenized. They're going to be used by the banks. They're already starting to get used by the banks. They're getting used by Visa, MasterCard. Big institutions are making ETFs for all these coins, for all these projects. So if you have patience, and you don't risk your money on small coins or on small projects or on meme coins, then you are going to succeed, because we are in a cycle of adoption. We are in a cycle of adoption, of a long-term adoption, okay? And especially right now, everything is very cheap. So when things are very cheap like they are right now, let's see, if we look at the normal altcoins here. Okay, well, Ethereum isn't as cheap as other ones, but Ethereum is still down over 50% from its high. Okay, so it's not too bad. XRP is way down. I don't follow XRP because I'm not an XRP fan, but BNB is doing better than others. BNB is about halfway. It's a little less than halfway down from its high. But we have Solana is down to 81, and its high is like 300, right? And Solana is doing very well. But when it's so cheap like this, people are afraid to buy it. Then we have, I'll use the examples of coins that I have because I'm following them more. Avalanche was up to 150 and it's at $9 right now. And its recent low in the past few years has been like $8. So you really can't get much lower. But Avalanche is getting huge adoption. This is a coin that's going to stay long term. Now look at where it was and look at where it is now. But this is a coin that's being used. This is a coin that's getting adopted. It's getting ETFs also. It's getting used by funds and places for tokenization. Also, another example is Chainlink. That's another one. Chainlink gets used in everything. It's getting used in everything. Chainlink is definitely going to be here a long time. Nobody wants to buy Chainlink when it's cheap. $871. Okay, look at the price right now. So this was up over 50. So that's like a 5x at least. That's 5 times your money if it goes back up to highs. It wasn't even here. It was more of a promise. It was more of a promise, and now it's a reality. And look at the price. So everyone is afraid to buy when it's cheap. If you want to succeed, now you saw the example of how I got in late, but like every time we have a run going up, I'm like doubling my money, even though I'm also losing out when it's come down. But now, before, in the beginning, I was doing crazy things. Now I just buy the good stuff and I just hold it. You don't have to buy crazy stuff. Here's an example here in X. He said, if I had $1,000, here's my balance portfolio. Now, I'm not telling you to buy anything. This is just some dude on X, okay? It's not financial advice. Well, it's just an idea. So he said, I'm going to put 300 in BTC. I'm going to put 250 in 𝗏. 𝗏 is an AI coin with lots of subnets. It seems to be growing very well. I prefer AI. I have NEAR, but 𝗏 is very good also. Sol is like the most used coin. Link is used in everything to connect everything. And then he says 100 for high risk gems. So out of 1,000, he's only risking 10%. He's only like playing with 10%. And that's fine. For me, that's fine. You're playing with 10%. You might hit one. You might get lucky. And then he's saving some money to buy the dips. That's a great idea. Absolutely great idea. But most of the money he put in BTC, in 𝗏, in Sol, in Link. These are all very well-known, very established projects that are getting real adoption. Okay? So if you just stick with that, even if you go through a bear market, everything goes down, what do you do in the bear market? You buy, and you keep your conviction. But you got to only buy the good stuff. The alternative is you can try to be a trader. Now, we got this example here. It says this guy turned $33,000 into $1.81. Now, I don't understand why you would actually sell it at that point. $1.81, maybe to be able to declare your loss. So he lost $33,000. People always show their winning trades, but they don't show the losing trades. Most people are not going to be traders. Most people are not good at this. There are a few people that are, but that's probably not going to be you. And you're going to be spending all your time looking at it and trading and stressing over it. You don't need to do that. Look at the cycles. Let's go back to Bitcoin. Where are we going? So if we look at Bitcoin, what do we do? You can also sell when you're up. You can also sell if you take a profit. That's never a bad thing. But if you want to make it big long term, we are in a time of adoption. We're in a time of adoption in crypto, and we don't have to do crazy things because over the next several years there's going to be more adoption. There's going to be ups and downs, but there's going to be more adoption, and things will be worth much more. So we see this. You buy the most when it's going down. You can sell a little bit at the top, but if you're holding good coins, you can just keep holding them. You can go through the downturns. If you have patience, you have to have a lot of patience. So you get rich in crypto when you have a lot of patience and when you have a lot of conviction. Because if you lose your conviction when things go down, right now it's like everyone's afraid to buy. Everything is super cheap, and we have all the best things happening in crypto. All the best things are happening in crypto right now. They never happened before. All the institutions getting, all the banks getting in. Everything's being tokenized on chain. And people are afraid to buy right now. So if you want to win in crypto, you have to have a long-term perspective, and you got to buy the good stuff. You can gamble a little bit here and there, but not too much. So that's my 2 cents for today. I hope you have a great day, a great night. Enjoy your life, enjoy your family, be happy, and I'll see you tomorrow.